What's up, guys? I'm the Nearsighted Gamer. Thanks for coming to see me. Happy New Year! I got it on the first try this time. As you know, I do my Game of the Year video usually after the year is over, which gives me time to really put my thoughts together and think about what I consider to be my Game of the Year. I'm still going to talk about my Game of the Year, but I'm not going to do any awards. I just want to give my top 5. I know a lot of people are doing top 10s, but I didn't play enough games to do a top 10, or I did, but there are not any games worthy of being on my top 10. They would only be on there just because I played them and I needed games to fill out the list. But before we do that, I have some honorable mentions. The first one is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which I played. I played a few hours of it. I ended up having a bad experience.
I had a bad experience.
Well, I mean, the game itself was great, but I did something stupid and caused me to have to waste a bunch of time. The game itself and what it was doing was awesome. Someone who's already into Zelda would love it, like many people did. But as somebody who was trying to get into Zelda, I mean, the creation aspect had me intrigued, but it wasn't enough to keep me going. And that first thing I did, man, wow. I did something so stupid. Yeah, I just had to mention that game. It did come out, I played it, it was fine, but Zelda's just not my thing. I just can't get into Zelda. The other one is something way more recent. WarioWare Move It. Now this one I didn't play, but I can still mention it because I watched my wife and my son play it, and I probably will play it, we just haven't played again. But watching them play through it, already knowing how WarioWare is, of course, was great. I mean, it did exactly what it said it was going to do. It's going to get you up and get you moving. What a lot of people wanted after Smooth Moves, it's a game like that where you're really using the controller, in this case the Joy-Cons, to do a lot of different poses and different moves. Just watching someone play that game is almost as fun, or probably as fun as playing it yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm the Nearsighted editor. Thanks for coming to see me. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say that during the process of editing this video, I actually did get a chance to play WarioWare Move It, and I can confirm that yes, it is as fun to play as it is to watch someone play, just like I thought. So if you get a chance, definitely check this one out. It's a ton of fun. Now, back to the video.
If you like WarioWare, you'll definitely like that. If you like Smooth Moves, you'll definitely like it. And even if you haven't played either one, if you want to do something fun or just start looking for a good party game and you have a Switch, yeah, I definitely go with that. Now, for some dishonorable mentions. The first one is Immortals of Avium, which is a really pretty looking first-person shooter where you use magic instead of guns, but you use magic as guns. Like you have a machine gun type of magic which rapidly shoots, you have a shotgun type of magic which shoots in bursts, and that's a cool concept. And it's possible I would play this if I got it back, but I mean, the reason I got it was so I could at least say I played. I wouldn't have bought it, so since I could rent it, I just went ahead and got it to try it out. And I think I really didn't give this game enough time. I've heard good and bad things about it, but I didn't really give it enough time to make my own decision. So maybe I'll jump back in it whenever this year slows down or anything, something like that. But gotta shout out to Immortals of Avium. It's a good looking game. The other one is Atlas Fallen, which is an open world game where there's a bunch of sand and you have this thing that lets you use sand in a bunch of different ways, and it's like possessed or something, or there's a spirit trapped inside of it, and it wasn't that good. I put a couple of hours into it because I wanted to at least give it a shot, but I didn't like it, man. I can't even remember enough to tell you about it. There's a lot of sand, and you had sand powers. You were using like made melee weapons out of sand, stuff like that, and you could surf on the sand, which that was cool.
Sand, it's everywhere. Get used to it.
But I found myself getting lost a lot because everything was the same color, and the map wasn't that good, if I'm remembering correctly. That's why it's dishonorable. There were a lot of good games this year, or this past year. Number 5 is Final Fantasy 16. I love Final Fantasy series. I was happy to play 16 because I passed on 15. I tried 3 times and couldn't play it, but 16 came out and they were going against the normal turn-based thing, which I love turn-based games. A lot of people don't. They made it more action-oriented. It was like Final Fantasy meets Game of Thrones, a lot of people are saying. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but I can see what they mean by like how deep the story went and stuff like that. Now it was fine. I ended up kind of losing interest close to the end, so I didn't beat it as fast as I normally would. Yeah, it was Final Fantasy and it was fun to play, but it just didn't live up to the classic Final Fantasies that we're used to, or even like game, like the way Final Fantasy has gone with the MMO and all that. There hasn't been a really good Final Fantasy since like 10, in my opinion. Maybe 13 too, only because they had time travel. That's my number 5. My number 4 is Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was really good. They did such a good job. And to those who say, yes, it's just more Spider-Man. Yes, it's more Spider-Man with another Spider-Man. You get to play as Miles, and while they didn't do what I wanted them to do, or I assumed they would do, it would be co-op, they did make it where you play with both of the characters. So you were able to switch back and forth, and there were certain missions that applied to one character or another character, which was great as well. But I was hoping that they would do co-op. And with the way you were able to fast travel in that game, they could definitely do that and just really have that going. I mean, maybe in an update and bring people back for it, but if they had a launch with that, that would have been great. The story was great, of course. It really centered around Peter and Miles. It made you realize that Miles wasn't there just to be there. He was there because he was part of the story, which they had set up in Miles Morales and Spider-Man, which was really cool. So everything was believable. The stuff with Venom, spoilers, Venom's in the game, was done very well. I liked all of that. It's just, it was more Spider-Man, so the only things that were gonna like really change would be the story. The gameplay was still great. The traversal, they added web wings, which made it where you could just soar across the city. I mean, like soar, man. The mission structure was better. The way they did side missions and stuff like that. All around, it was great, man. The music was great. It's more Spider-Man, but that wasn't a bad thing. And that's why it's number 4 on my list. My number 3 is Super Mario Brothers Wonder. In 2023, we got a new 2D Mario. I've been wanting a 2D Mario forever. The last good 2D Mario, in my opinion, was Super Mario Brothers Wii on console. And Wii U wasn't it, man. It wasn't it. And then when I saw that they were making this, I was like, I didn't want to breathe because I didn't want to startle anybody at Nintendo to like change their mind and not do it. But it was good. And although you would think I would be playing it 24/7 all the time because it's on Switch and super portable, I don't. But when I jump back in it, I'm constantly smiling. I'm constantly laughing. I have beaten it and I'm working on the special stages now, but when you're playing that game, it's so much fun. And me not playing it constantly, talking about how good it is, doesn't detract from it being as good as I say it is. I know a lot of people are all about 3D Mario, and I keep hearing that everybody's like, the new Switch needs to come out with a 3D Mario, which yes, that would be good, but don't just try to brush this under the rug, man. This was a good game, even though it was in 2D. That's where Mario came from. That's what got me hooked on Mario. But just don't overlook this game just because it's 2D. Yeah, my number 3, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 2 is Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, the game that just keeps on giving. Except they haven't given us Akuma yet. He's coming though. But man, Street Fighter 6 takes me back to whenever we used to play Street Fighter Alpha 3 all the time, me and my friends. The characters, the interactions, the new drive system, which I'm not that good at and haven't mastered, I can use a little bit. It did so much good. The art style, the way the characters have aged, and like they're not going back to the past. This is them progressing in their lives and seeing how things happen after they finish fighting, when they're trying to like just get back and just become a normal person who's just not always chasing a goal because they've accomplished things that they already wanted to do. So it's like, now what? I didn't really like the World Tour mode. I played it a little bit, but whenever you're playing that, you just want to play the game. You can play either in this online hub, or you can just go to the typical online and play like that. Training mode is very robust. It makes it where you can learn everything. There's frame data. I'm talking about that like I really know all about that. But the fact that it's all there, and the online thing, there's a store you can go. You can play classic Capcom games. They change every day or every couple of days. You can look at replays. Online hub that I was talking about, you can play at arcades, which makes it feel like the days of playing at arcades are just it immerses you more in the game playing experience. Even though you're playing against somebody, it takes that one step further to make it seem like you're just really there. There's been some issues, but as far as the game itself being launched, it's great. They've had 2 DLC characters. There's 2 more. They're saving Akuma for last. And dude, I cannot wait. Akuma is my guy. I really like it. Again, just because I'm not playing it 24/7 doesn't mean I don't like it. But when I get into it, it's just great. The music and everything. My number 2. Okay, now my game of the year is a game that is in my favorite genre ever. It's an RPG. It's Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars. Oh my gosh. Sabotage Studios. They made The Messenger. And that was a Metroidvania. And they killed it. And now they made an RPG. An old school RPG akin to the likes of Chrono Trigger, which I haven't played, but of course I get the look. It is so good. It looking like that and playing the way it does is a perfect match. The story is excellent. You're invested from the very beginning. And whenever I was playing this game, I was playing it alongside my wife, and she would get ahead of me, and then I would play and I would stop playing or just hit a lull. Not because of the game, just something happened where I stopped playing. And she was like, "Did you play yet?" I was like, "No." She's like, "We need to play." And I did it twice, and each time it was something very crucial and very cool that I stopped right before. And I was like, "I can't imagine what you were going through." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You better play this freaking game so we can talk about what the heck just happened." And both times it was something really, really cool that I was like right there, right about to see. I feel like if I had went a little further and got past that, then I would have continued playing. It wouldn't happen. But 2 times, man, the graphics, it's an like, I'm also like 16-bit, but it looks better than that. It just has that style to it, but it's all cleaned up. The music is so good, man. And you know the music has to be good because like battle music for sure has to be good because you're hearing it all the time. Battle music is good. The world music is good. The storytelling music, suspenseful moments, all that. And it even has a nod to a level in The Messenger that has the same music but touched up just a little bit. And when I heard that, I was like, that sounds like Autumn Hills. And dude, it's so good. I had to go and listen to that one and both of them. And the stage is kind of like an homage to it in a certain way. It's really cool. Great story, great characters, dialogue, like very, very endearing. It keeps you hooked, even though I said I stopped playing it, but that wasn't because of the game's fault. It's on everything. I played it on PlayStation Plus. It was on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. It's on PS5, PS4, I think. I know it's on Switch, Xbox, and all. It's on everything. So there's no reason for you not to play it. I think it's like what, maybe 30. I think it's a budget title. It's not 60. It's either 20 or 30. It's got to be 30. It's worth 60. It's great, man. It's a good RPG, a good game, and that's why it is my 2023 game of the year. I know I didn't do anything typical this year, but I just wanted to talk about these games, just draw attention to it, because last year being such a really good year for games, and I didn't play a lot. A game I really wish I had played is Alan Wake 2, but it was only digital, and while I'm sure I wouldn't regret it, I wasn't able to buy it just yet. I'm sure I'll end up coming around to it, catch it on the sale. Yeah, catch it on the sale, then I'll probably do it. Because like, at first I'm like, hearing people talk about it, and then I'm like, do I really want to play it? Like, yeah, I do. All these things people talk about keep happening. Like, but do I? Because like, I'll go back and forth with stuff I see. Like, this part looks cool, but that looks like it'll just be annoying to do. Back and forth like that. But I do want to play it. Yeah, that's one that I didn't get a chance to play. I can't think of anything else short of like indie games, but of course the big time games. I played a game called God of Rock, which was like a rhythm game where you battled as music gods, and like, it was crazy. The concept got me, and then I got it because I had some free time, and I was like, oh no, no. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. You know I do. You guys are awesome. And let me know what your game of the year for 2023 was in the comments. Have any of you played Sea of Stars? Any of you who haven't and love RPGs, current or otherwise, it's great, man. The story itself is just so good. They do things that they didn't have to do. And some of the characters are just like, you're a what now? Yeah, if you know, you know. Wow, man, it does so many things that it didn't need to do, but it did, and it made the game better. So yeah, leave me yours in the comment and let me know. And if you played any of the other games, like if you played Immortals of Avium or Atlas Fallen, any of those, while you're aware, yeah, any games on my list that you did play, you played more, maybe you have a different order, or why any of mine should be number one. Anyway, you know, anything like that, anything having to do with 2023, one of the greatest years in gaming, yeah, just let me know. And now I guess after that, all that's left to say is, as always, be excellent to each other. See you, peoples.